North Carolina, you are recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Commissioner, for coming today. I was just looking at your CV. I saw you went to Duke and to UNC.
I did.
So if you can answer one question today, Duke or UNC?
Duke.
All right, well, I got no more to say to you. All right, let's get down, actually. So questions. California and North Carolina, excuse me, New York have the most billionaires. And you're saying that that's a high rate of cheating. Have you ever correlated any of them with the are they paying the California taxes and the New York taxes?
I don't have that analysis at my fingertips. We're focusing.
No. What I'm saying is because we're talking about a lot of folks not paying their taxes. Look, I'm 100%. People need to pay their taxes, period. I don't care what income bracket you're in. But if we're talking about millionaires and billionaires not paying their fair share, which is what we hear the president say a lot, those are the two biggest states are in California and New York. So it'd be nice to know, you don't have to answer this, but it'd be nice to know, are they doing that for New York and California, and are their particular revenue departments going after them? Fair question.
It is a fair question. And I would, excuse me, I would want to coordinate a response to that after talking to those states. We are not necessarily focused regionally. We're focused on the types of evasions
I get it.
that corporations are engaged in. Many of them are maybe operating in California, incorporated in Delaware. The reality is that the question is the underlying behavior.
Okay, all right, thanks. Were you aware that the Biden administration has said that TikTok is not to be allowed on government devices?
I am aware of that, yes.
All right, so this is just very troubling to me. So the OMB issued guidance February 27, 2023, agencies were how to implement this law. DIGA found that 23 devices used by IRS still had access to TikTok, and this is still troubling. It took the IRS, this thing was issued, TIGTA issued this to the IRS in May. The IRS did not take action until August of 2023. Why?
I'm not sure of the facts of that, but that does seem unacceptable, and I will get to the bottom of it.
Do you personally believe, I think there are many members of Congress, especially over in the Senate, Democratic Senator Intelligence, Senator Warner, believes that TikTok is a security risk to this country? So I'm just saying, this is his word. It's generally considered a risk, and I just, to the life of me, don't understand why these are still on devices. What really bothers me, we're talking about folks working from home, is that the bring your own device policy for the IRS is still not enforcing this ban on TikTok. Can you speak to that?
Well, I want to make sure I understand the TIGTA recommendation and where we are in closing it out, but I absolutely agree. Whether people are working remotely or working on site, we have to abide by these security standards, and any lapse cannot be tolerated. So we need to be. It
took 8 months for the IRS to really update this policy. That's not acceptable. It wouldn't be acceptable in business. It shouldn't be acceptable in any government agency. Let me ask you about the Criminal Investigation Unit and their access to TikTok, because it seems that they're kind of trying to get a waiver for this. Are you aware of any of that?
I am aware of the fact that that in certain cases, when our law enforcement division is working to impede, disrupt, and hold accountable criminal enterprises, sometimes they have to use tools that to understand and solve those crimes. So it's not. It's a kind of an apple and an orange versus an IRS employee who should not have TikTok on their device versus a law enforcement official who's using. Are
you aware of that requisite, of that asking for this for the Criminal Investigation Unit to have a waiver?
I would want to get, before I got into more detail, I'd want to go back and get more detail, but I am aware of that, yes.
Yeah, would you mind getting back to my office about that? It's Murphy from North Carolina, who's a big Tar Heel fan. And by the way,
yeah, I really am going to regret that answer. I just was at UNC speaking, and I feel affinity there, but it's a long story.
I'm messing with you. Just one last question. Artificial intelligence. You know, this is the gold rush for this country and the world for that matter. bias, absolute bias, will be a thing we're going to have to fight. And I hope that given the, some of the biases that have been stated by the department, some individuals, that I have your commitment to do your very, very best that the IRS does not have any biases when using artificial intelligence in looking at who to audit, who not to audit. Because we saw that going after Republicans before. We saw some real problems with who were audited. And artificial intelligence is a tool, but it should not be used as a political weapon in the IRS.
You have my commitment.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll yield back.